Why do you suppose that change is so hard for employees? And why are people so inherently resistant to change? Today, we're going to investigate not only why is change difficult, but also learn how to effectively lead others through change. So let's jump into our training session. According to a source called ProSci, resistance to change is a natural human response, but it's far more than just an emotional response. According to their research, it's typically caused by five primary reasons: lack of awareness of the change, meaning employees don't know what's in it for them, change in role, they fear workload increases, requirement of learning new systems or technology, maybe even a decrease in autonomy or control. They fear the unknown related to potentially losing their job, compensation, uncertainty about the future. They lack support, trust, and leadership. Often, managers display even higher resistance and reduce support for change. And this poor role modeling has a direct impact on employee behavior and their support for that change. And number five is that they feel excluded from the change decision. So employees desire to be part of the process of contributing to the change sequence. And they also want their concerns to be heard. As a manager, you have the ability to influence your team directly, more than any other level of management within the organization. You are a pivotal role part of the success and effective change management. You are their support, best means of communication, and advocate to the members of your team. And so they, as they're moving through that whole change, you may be asking yourself, how do you make this happen? So let's jump into that next. We know that change is inevitable, but change is also necessary in order for us to advance the organization and to successfully meet our strategic objectives. How can we help our employees go through change more effectively? Well, we need to leverage what's called the ADKAR model. This is the ADKAR change model, and we'll go through each component and why it's important. So first at the top, we have awareness. Employees need to understand what's happening and why the change is necessary. Desire. You must instill a desire for that change. So they need to understand what's in it for them. Keep them involved, engaged by communicating regularly. Knowledge. They need to understand how the change is going to happen, and also what knowledge and training do they need in order to be successful with this change. Ability. Identify and prepare for any new skills and abilities that may be needed to be successful. Reinforcement. Discuss milestones along the way so that employees see progress and provide support for any obstacles that they may come across, so that they don't have the urge to revert back to their old ways. But if change is constant and it's inevitable and necessary, why do studies still show that approximately 70% of change initiatives fail? This statistic is pretty astounding. But according to Forbes, the reasons why change programs fail are mainly due to poor communication, insufficient leadership and support, organizational politics, lack of understanding of the purpose of the change, lack of user buy-in, and lack of collaboration. These are all human problems, and those that can be avoided by utilizing the ADKAR model. Forbes goes on to say that as leaders, we're not the ones that are driving the change. And therefore, employees then aren't buying in to the change. In other words, people at even the most disciplined organizations are acting emotionally and not logical. We need to change that behavior. So in addition to utilizing the ADKAR model, Forbes also provides some tips to help leaders be more successful. First, be authentic. People don't trust what they don't understand, which then creates resistance. According to the textbook by Conte and Landy, authentic leadership refers to a leader's sincerity and genuineness, and it includes the ability to share one's true self in a way that inspires and motivates one's followers. Be inspirational. So share your vision of the future. Great leaders will paint a compelling picture of what the future looks like and why it's important and how it's positive. People need to feel a sense of optimism about where they're going, how they fit in. Tie your change to your business objectives. Also, be visible. Successful change starts at the top, and that successful change leadership requires the commitment of all management levels. Make sure that you lead by example. Also, be proactive. People need different kinds of information at different times. Be intentional and proactive about providing the right communication at the right times. The beginning of the change, provide information that's contextual and the why of the change. And then also personal, what's in it for them. And then as the change continues, provide frequent updates on the logistics, the details, the procedures. The next time that you find yourself and your team working through a big change, remember, we all know that change is hard, but there is a more effective way to lead your team through it. Utilize the ADKAR change model to ensure that you are effectively helping your team navigate through that change. And don't forget the tips that were outlined in this training. It's important to be authentic, inspirational, visible, and proactive. Don't forget, you can have a big impact on the success of your team when leading them through a change. Be the reason why the change is successful for your team. Thank you for attending this training. I wish you the best in leading change more effectively.